Rescue 3, you probably do one full arrest.
Requested the orders. 5 minutes. Copy.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of After the Encode.
Hi, Savenya. Harabi, Saraba. Hambad.
I didn't know you were going to be doing that.
You know what that's from?
No, I know it's from The Lion King.
Okay, good.
So unfortunately,
Hi, Savenya. Harabi, Saraba.
that's not the words.
We are back from Africa. It's close enough.
It's close enough, I guess.
Do you think it's more offensive to
No,
Africa
just stop. I would stop talking.
or Walt Disney that I don't know the words?
Walt Disney.
Sorry,
Probably.
Walt Disney.
So we're back from Africa, sadly.
So sad.
I know we've been back for 5-6 days now, and I can't stop being that girl that's like, well, when I was in Asia or when I was in Africa,
Yeah.
I can't stop. I have a sickness.
It's upsetting, but it's back to the real world.
So we left off with you guys last in Thailand. Obviously, we went to a whole nother country since then. And if you follow us on social media, you already saw that. We were in Africa. So we're going to get into it all. But first, we've been back at work. We're back on the grind. We could talk about it a little bit. Do you have any stories since you've been back at work?
Work is exactly how I remember it. Just as glorious as it was when I left.
It's honestly
month
so
ago.
much better than traveling. I'm thrilled to be back.
I was thinking when I was on a safari looking at lions, man, I'm really missing just work. And
running calls, taking
and-
care of people.
Yeah. So, no, I've been back 2 shifts now. I worked last night and yesterday. And really the only thing that I have to say, well, let me hit you with a hypothetical real quick.
Okay.
Okay. So let's say you're a middle-aged woman, right?
Okay. Not too far from that.
Pretty accurate, right?
What?
So far.
Pretty accurate.
So you're a middle-aged woman, just be yourself. Now, say that you're having abdominal pain.
That's accurate for me. Yeah.
So you call 911.
Okay.
Do you A, get your keys, get your purse, your wallet, get ready for EMS to get there?
Mm-hmm.
Or B, get into the bathtub with your clothes on?
Okay. So before you said B, I was actually going to lead this up with I've thought about this so many times when I'm home alone. If I had to call 911, would I put the dogs in another room? Would I put some pants on? Would I grab my phone? But if it's an emergency, do I have time to do that? But the bathtub with your clothes on,
Okay.
I don't know. That sounds kind of relaxing. I'm going to pick B.
So you would be correct.
Okay. So why?
So here's the thing. If you're having an emergency, it is what it is. You're going to
do whatever.
you got to do. If it's maybe not necessarily an emergency,
Right.
and
you have time to get ready.
for the people who meet us at the door or meet us at the driveway and they're ready to go, they've got their shoes on, the dogs are up, doors locked, whatever. I love you guys. You are the MVP. That's amazing. We had a patient who, and this happens all the time, maybe not this specifically, but called 911, wasn't feeling great, so decided to hop in the bathtub. So when we showed up inside,
I can't get mad about that. When I don't feel good, I want to take a bath too.
okay, but
I take my clothes off.
okay, she had a shirt on, no pants.
But did she say why?
She was like, "Oh, I didn't feel good," and I'm like, "So you want to go to the hospital?" And she said, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay,
You're soaking wet.
let's get you out of the bathtub. Let's start there, and then we'll take you to the hospital." It's just maybe don't get in the bathtub
After you've called.
after you've called.
The response time is meant to be pretty quick, so
Yeah, I mean,
super weird.
So now it's okay. Let's dry off and do our stuff, and I don't know.
That's a weird story.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that, and I just wanted to give a shout out to anyone who is ready to go when they call 911.
Yeah, Caden wants you prepared for your emergencies.
Well,
don't be caught slacking.
If you can help it and you want to help me out, don't get into the bathtub after you call us.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's honestly a pretty funny story. And I feel like I wouldn't get in the bathtub after I called 911,
After what was it? What's the number again? So you have an emergency and you call what?
What did I just say?
Okay.
So
Stroke assessment.
anyways,
Look at me. Smile. Big teeth.
Stop it.
You can't teach an old dog new tricks.
That's enough. Anyways, I forgot what I was saying. I'm going to move on.
She's
I
having
have
a
a story.
stroke. Better go get in the bathtub. Yeah.
Okay, anyways, geez, I have a story from work. So I was at work the other day and one of the nurses asked me if I could help them with an IV. So in the pediatric world, we can't do anything by ourselves. Really, you need a second nurse or somebody to help hold the patient still, like hold their arm still so that the kids don't hurt themselves when they start to like freak out when you poke them with the needle. So this nurse is like, hey, okay, can you help me in hall 3? Like we need to do a workup. And I was like, sure. So I go into the hall and she's setting up with the IV kit and I see the kid and he's wearing Spider-Man head to toe, like Spider-Man hat, Spider-Man shirt, Spider-Man shoes. So most of the time we'll like call the kids nicknames. If they're wearing a superhero, like we call them that superhero.
Mm-hmm.
So I go, Spider-Man, hop up on the bed. And his mom started busting out laughing. And I was just kind of like, what's funny about that? And then the nurse who asked me to help her also started busting out laughing. And the kid was just kind of like, tee-hee, and jumped up on the bed. And I looked at them both and I was like, am I missing something? Like, what's funny? And she was like, you just called him Spider-Man. And I was like,
Yeah.
right? Like he's wearing Spider-Man clothes.
Mhm.
Makes sense. She goes, do you know why we're doing an IV and blood work? And I was like, no, why? Well, the kid was wearing a hat, so I couldn't see his face. So the kid lays down and I look at his face and his whole left eye inside of his face is swollen up like a balloon. And the nurse is like, because he has a spider bite. Like he's here for a really bad spider bite. So we're doing
Nice.
blood work. So I was like, okay, nice one, Tori. Like this kid's here getting poked with a needle because he got bit by a spider and I'm calling him Spider-Man.
Superhero in the making.
So that's what I told him. So he thought it was funny, the kid. So I start telling him, I'm like, oh, well, who knows? Maybe you're going to start developing some new spidey senses, some new superpowers.
Amazing.
So it was pretty funny. Anyways, that's a very pediatric story
Who
for
is
you.
your Spider-Man?
Huh?
Like, who's your Spider-Man? Does it?
Oh, who's my favorite?
Yeah.
Well, it's got to be Tom Holland.
Wrong.
What do you mean wrong?
No.
I love him so much. Him and Zendaya. We're getting into pop culture around here. Who's yours?
The original.
What's his name?
Tobey Maguire.
Tom Holland.
No. That's such
Comment
like
below if
a.
you're Tom Holland or Tobey Maguire.
That's such like a.
But
like
he's
Gen Z thing to.
no, but I pick him because he's in the Marvel. Like he is the Marvel Spider-Man. Like he is in the Avengers. He's in like Iron Man. Like
Okay.
that's the Spider-Man.
Let's be clear that Tobey Maguire is still in Spider-Man's Marvel.
I know, but
Just because he wasn't in the Avengers.
I know, but in like the
'Cause he was
more
the OG.
up-to-date franchise.
Okay. Follow up to that.
Why are we talking about superheroes?
No, follow up to that. He was in the new. He was in.
Okay, yes.
He was in the new Spider-Man.
He was,
yeah.
but that was pretty iconic. I can't even lie. That was a sick scene where they did all the old Spider-Man. Anyways,
Thank you.
we're meant to be talking about Thailand and Africa, not Avengers.
All right. Where did we leave off?
Tom Holland.
In Thailand.
Anyways.
Tobey Maguire.
All right, so let's get back to the trip. All right, so Thailand. Last we talked to you guys, we were at the elephant sanctuary. Still, like hands down, probably best part of the trip.
Amazing.
So we left the elephant sanctuary and we started to head to our tropical paradise. We hit Phuket, we hit Krabi, we hit some of the islands. We had ourselves a grand old time.
We transitioned from the jungle to like beachy tropical
Yeah.
vibes,
And
which was nice because we were going pretty
needed
hard.
it.
Yeah,
it
we
was
needed to
just
rest.
it was nice because the end of the Thailand trip was all just like super laid back. Actually, I want to talk about this. I was thinking about the fashion in Thailand, and the fashion in Thailand is no fashion.
And I'm here for it.
Like
too.
it's whatever you want.
You know what it is I kind of felt like I was just more natural because I usually have like sweatpants on, like a gym shirt,
Right.
like my Birks when I go to the grocery store.
Mhm.
So the fact that that was acceptable in
It's
public
like,
and to dinner
you
was
could wear
nice.
anything you want. If you want to wear some Thai pants with Birkenstocks and like a collared shirt with a sarong over it, like it's fine. It's all okay.
Mhm.
So the whole time we were in the islands, all I wore was my bikini, a sarong as a skirt, and Birks every single day, all day long. I didn't pack or pull out a single other article of clothing.
Mhm.
It
And
was
I
amazing.
don't know what a sarong is.
It's all the stuff I kept buying. I bought 10.
All your bracelets?
No, not the bracelets, like the package, the cloth thing that
Oh,
I kept buying.
Tablecloth. You can wear tablecloths.
Yeah, I was wearing tablecloths. That's what Caden's going to call them. So anyways, I just thought that was funny because there's like the temple fashion where you have to wear pants and a long sleeve, and there's like beach fashion, but it's not fashion. It's just like literally anything goes.
Love it.
Loved that. So what did we do? Let's see. We went to Phuket. We were there for my birthday and we did a PP Island tour.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
It was
finally, spent the entire day in the sun.
We booked this the night before because my birthday was the next day and we were supposed to book it ahead of time. But this was the one time. This is the one trip we didn't book everything all the way through.
I know.
was like,
I'm sorry. I didn't book this one specific thing. I did
Caden's
everything
planning.
else, but
Well,
not this.
We were with some people not too long ago and they're like, we don't book everything ahead of time. We just like fly by the seat of our pants, whatever. And we were like, I told Caden, I said, I'm not going to plan the Thailand trip at all. And he was like, yeah, right. Like, be so for real.
Mm-mm.
So I decided instead just not to plan certain parts of it. And that was a mistake. Because then
You
we
live
get
and you
there
learn. Yeah.
and we're like rushing to try to get things booked. People are sold out. It was a hard time to get a boat booked. We didn't have hotels booked. Like literally the morning of that we were leaving Phuket, we had no hotels booked for the rest of the trip and everything was sold out on the island that we were going to. So we booked it on the ferry on the way there. We finally found a hotel and booked it, which we'll get into that hotel. But
so the morning of the tour was a longtail boat tour, which is what basically like
so it's like if you think
a
like
Viking
a
ship.
Viking boat, like a
Yes.
wooden boat, but at the end of the boat they have this long tail, which is why it's called like a long tail boat. That is the motor.
It's the
like
motor, yeah.
it's a long tail with a propeller motor thingy. They're really cool, very cool boats.
Mhm.
So we booked this. They pick you up from your hotel in a taxi. They take you to the port. Is that what it's called? A port? And then you get on a ferry and then you go to PP Islands and that's where you get on the longtail boat for the next, like, I think we spent 7 hours on the longtail boat.
Yeah, all day.
But it didn't start out so hot.
Started out rocky, like a lot of things do for us.
Yeah. So I paid half online and I thought that the other half I would have also like paid online, like with a credit card. But we get picked up by this taxi driver and he starts driving and he turns around. He's like, okay, I need the rest of the cash. And we did not have enough bought.
This is your birthday.
This is my birthday.
Yeah, birthday.
And we did not have enough bought to pay the rest of the boat. Because it's not like Thailand is inexpensive, but we booked like a private tour, hotel pickup, the works. Because I was like, it's my birthday. And we did not have the cash we needed. So we're panicking a little bit and we're like, you know what? It's fine. Can we go to an ATM? And the guy's like, yeah, that's fine. We'll go to an ATM. So we start driving down the road. We get maybe like 12 minutes down and we're on a time crunch because we have to be at the port at a certain time to get on the ferry.
Mm-hmm.
We're driving down the road. And at first I was like, oh my God, I don't have a card. So we start panicking when we're telling him, again, he doesn't speak great English. So we're like, wait, pull over, turn around. I don't have a card. Then I look in my wallet and I'm like, oh, I do have a card. We're good. Never mind.
Now continue.
Keep going. And
Continue
this
back to
guy's
the
like,
port.
okay, are you sure we're good? Like, you don't have cash. You didn't have a card. Now you do have a card. Like, it's all good.
Yeah.
So he keeps driving. And then I, ding, ding, realize that the card I have is a credit card and you can't take cash out at the ATMs
Need a debit card.
with a credit card. So then I'm like, I need
just
a debit
kidding.
card. And now we're like 15 minutes down the road. And I'm like, sir, turn around. And he was like, what? Anyways, it gets worse. So we turn around and I've got my Red Bull cracked open. It's my birthday. I'm trying to like eat my breakfast in the car. And we turn around and we get there and I'm like, Caden, run to the hotel room. Like, run, go get the card. So Caden gets out of the van. Does not run.
Okay, so I realized. No, okay. She says do. I realized there's some urgency. I wasn't 100% sure where our room was.
We have been to the room the same amount of times and he always can't find it.
So
and it's
I got
not
out
complicated.
and I started walking and I realized they were driving behind me and I'm like, I don't know where the turn is.
But he's not saying that. He's just walking and I see him like
I was trying to look casual.
looking all around and I'm staring at him and the driver's still driving and I'm trying to tell the driver to stop and I'm banging on the window trying to get Caden's attention to tell him like it's that way. He is not paying attention. So the driver finally stops. I spring out of this van. I look at him and I'm like, give me the room key. And I grab the room key and now I'm sprinting, full on running.
The driver is probably about ready just to leave us at
He
this
probably
point.
hates us. So I'm sprinting. I get to the room. I grab the debit card. I sprint back. Mind you, it's like what, 7 in the morning, 6, 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'm just running a half marathon over here on my birthday.
Hot too. Very hot.
So
in Islands.
hot. So anyways, we get the debit card. We go to the ATM. All is well. But
Just a little back and forth.
I was like, it was just a chaotic morning. And then to see Caden get out of this van and literally do, I was like, I'm going to kill him.
Yeah,
I'm
I was
gonna kill him.
hoping that I would see like a landmark that like sparked me like, oh, okay, this was the hall to go down. And
Nope.
no, didn't really.
I should have honestly known better. I should have just gone out of the van myself.
Yeah, when you
to
were like
begin with.
hop out, I was like, ooh.
But he didn't say anything. He wasn't like, I don't know where the room is.
Well,
He goes,
there was
okay.
a lot of pressure. I was like, we're already behind the 8 ball here. I don't want to turn down the wrong one. So
Anyways, that's what happened there. But I want to talk about the rest of this day because backing up the elephant as like the number one thing we did, this is definitely the number two.
Mm-hmm.
It could, I don't know if it ties with it, but it's up there. This was really fun. Like this was an amazing
This was really
day.
cool.
We had the whole longtail boat to ourselves with just our boat driver and our tour guide.
Yes.
Boom.
Boom. Her name's Boom.
Boom. She's probably watching this because she followed us. So Boom was our tour guide.
Shout out to you, Boom.
Boom, you were great. We loved you. She was funny.
She was funny.
She fell asleep a few times
Yeah.
on our tour.
I mean, I get it.
I get it. It's a long day in the sun.
She may have been out late the night before.
Yeah, it did give like hangover vibes. Boom, I'm so sorry if you're watching this, but she was on the ferry on the way there. We look back and she's just slumped over the chair, like fully knocked out. It was so funny.
Yeah. So, well, we've all been there.
Yeah. So we're basically going around all these islands, snorkeling, doing the most. And we get to one island and she was eating watermelon and was like, Boom was throwing the pieces of watermelon into the water and all of these fish were like frolicking around. So I jump in the water and she hands me a piece of watermelon and is like, hold it. And all these like beautiful fish started swarming around us in the water.
Yeah,
it was
the water's
so cool.
like crystal blue. All the islands are like really,
so
beautiful. And then all the fish swarming around. There's so much fish.
So many.
Like,
and then we had a Finding Nemo moment.
like all the bait fish.
The bait fish.
Like
So you guys know in
thousands.
Finding Nemo where like Dory and Marvin? We're talking a lot about Disney. But anyways, Nemo's dad and Dory are talking to the bait fish trying to find where so-and-so went.
What is his name?
Marlin, I think.
Marlin?
Marlin.
Marlin.
I think it's Marlin.
But he's
a clownfish.
a clownfish named Marlin.
I think so. Anyway, so they're like talking to the bait fish and the bait fish are like making arrows and making faces, whatever. So we're swimming and we jump in the water and we're snorkeling and our tour guide's trying to get our attention and she's like, look all around you. And we turn.
It looked like
a black sea.
Yeah, like a black sea. Like I thought it was like either rock
or like a shadow.
Or a
like,
bunch of like, I don't know, like seaweed,
I don't know, but when we got in the water, there was hundreds of them. Thousands.
Thousands
of them. And they're making a circle around us. It was so cool. We'd like move our arm and they would like part and then come back together. Like it was so sick.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Yeah. So pretty great birthday. I thought that when we got back from the boat, we'd like go to a fancy dinner and then go out. Cause like in Phuket, we were near a pretty popular like night market with a bunch of clubs and bars and I could not hang. We got back and I took a shower and I told Caden, I was like, can we just order room service? Like, I don't think I can leave the hotel.
Yeah, it wasn't even Tori's birthday, so it didn't really matter.
It was my birthday.
It was not. She was
my
in her mom's, I was going to say belly, but that's not correct.
Womb.
Yeah.
So Thailand's like how many hours? 12 hours ahead.
Yes.
So it was.
Okay, so when we're on our way to the port in the morning, it occurred to me, I was like, wait a second.
Who would say this to somebody?
I was like, wait a second. Today's not even your it's not even your birthday yet.
It is my birthday because
back home you weren't born in Thailand. No,
that's
you were
so
born.
rude.
You were born in America. And
You're
I'm like,
so wrong.
Your
for
mom
that.
is just chilling, probably like
in labor.
In
probably.
labor, maybe. But
that is
still.
wrong. You know that's wrong.
So
because if
I was
anything,
like, oh, okay, no big deal. It's not even your birthday.
No.
Everyone, cancel the dancers. And
no, if anything, I
It's-
should have gotten two. I did get two birthdays.
Okay,
So I had
you
my
got
Thailand.
more than two birthdays.
I had my Thailand birthday because it was February 9th when we were in Thailand. And then the next day when it was February 10th in Thailand, it was February 9th in America. So it was still my birthday.
Yeah, we celebrated Tori's birthday. We're still celebrating it.
Yeah. So then we go to Krabi. We are still celebrating it always. So then we go to Krabi. We booked the hotel on the way there. Our first hotel I had to spend a lot of money on because there was nothing available. So we stayed at a very nice hotel, which is fine. I'm okay with the money we spent because it was awesome. But
yeah,
then
it was hard leaving the Holiday Inn.
We leave the Holiday Inn that we're staying at
To
in
go where
Krabi
we
to go
stayed
to
at.
this other like local Thai hotel. This place.
It was like 1,000 years old.
This place was so awful. First off, the check-in process, the reception lady was a nightmare. She was not nice to us at all, which fine, whatever. Then they got lost taking us to our room. They have no elevators here, so Caden's holding our one suitcase and he's
Oh
going
my
up the
God.
stairs, down the stairs.
Yeah, we go
up
all the way
stairs.
up like 3 flights, then he goes,
It's
this
not
isn't
up
the
here.
way. I'm just like, great.
Great. Gotta put those
Sounds
muscles to
good.
work.
Yes, let me carry these back
So
down.
they get lost taking us there. Then we get to the room and they can't get the door open. Like this guy could not figure out the keys. Then we finally get in. There's no towels anywhere. Not a hand towel, not a regular towel, nothing.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't know this. So I like go in the shower to get my hair wet to like get the sand or the salt water off it to go to dinner. And no towels when I come out. Then Caden goes, wow, these beds are awesome. You're going to love them. I sit on this bed and I am not kidding you. it's cardboard. We lift the sheet up. It was literally a piece of like plywood.
Yeah, no, it was plywood.
Yeah.
Yeah, is what it was. It wasn't a mattress. It literally, like, you might as well put a blanket on the ground. Really,
It was so
honestly,
bad.
because they had forgotten the towels. I was contemplating, like,
Did they forget a mattress?
forget to put mattresses on this bed?
All right. So after Phuket, we went to Krabi, which I feel like sometimes Krabi can be controversial. Some people say it's super touristy and it's not one of the better islands in Thailand, but I loved it. I had a great time there.
I thought it was awesome. I don't
Super
know
chill.
what to compare it to, like any of the other islands.
Well, we
but
didn't really get to go to any of the like off the beaten path islands because we didn't quite have enough time, but I really liked Krabi. So if you're contemplating going, I'd say go. We had a great time.
Yeah.
We did a hike one day. It was called Monkey Trail. That takes you to like more of a private beach, and it was really fun. The monkeys weren't actually on the trail. They were just all gathered around like this beach area before, but I could have hung out there all day with the monkeys.
Tori loved the monkeys.
I really loved them. Like I did not want to leave.
Yeah, but you wouldn't mess with the big ones.
No, because one of the big ones I walked by, like, I don't know if it hissed or what, but they were like clawing at you. Like, I didn't like that.
They were trying to steal people's stuff,
Yeah.
for sure.
Anyways, Caden was holding the backpack when we were sitting on the ledge to the first monkey.
Yeah, he was trying to unzip it.
Yeah, he crawled onto Caden's lap and started like unzipping the backpack.
He was like, I thought he was so cute, and he just wanted to be my friend, and he was just trying
Stealing.
to steal my stuff.
Yeah, so then I spotted a little tiny itty bitty baby, and I was like, he's mine. I'm going in for him. So he was playing on the tire, and I go over, and I was like, Caden, I want to get the monkey on me. And he was like, just stick your hand out. So I did, and he just jumped right on my arm, crawled up onto my head, and started trying to steal my hat. And then like 2 more monkeys jumped on me at the same time too, and also started trying to steal my stuff. And it was just hilarious. I could have hung out there all day and just like fought monkeys.
Fought monkeys?
Yeah, I was fighting them off.
Okay, cool, yeah. Monkey fighting.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted to do. And then actually, so one of the days in Krabi, we took a longtail boat like day tour over to Riley Beach. This was a really cool area. The beach itself, overcrowded. But
Yeah, I
very
mean,
like beachy, chill, like hippie vibes.
it's a
almost.
beautiful beach. We kayaked.
Yeah, we did. We kayaked. That was really cool, like through caves and different rock formations. But as we're walking, there's like this straight up hike, and you can go to the top and go to see this viewing point, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
all rock.
Like straight up.
Straight
And
up, like
we
hands
were
and feet.
dressed in Birks.
We were in Birkenstocks, a sarong for me, like a skirt, and my bathing
Thailand
suit.
attire.
Yeah, and we had like a wet bag because we were going kayaking, and I was like, let's do it. And so we start doing this hike. I broke
was-
a nail.
Yeah, it was steep. Tori broke a nail.
Well, I had just got my nails done because in Thailand, the salons, not expensive. So pretty much every night Caden will go up to the room at like 10 p.m., 11 p.m. after we hit the night markets and go up, go edit on his phone, go to bed. And I would be like, got to go get a massage and go find the closest massage place and go get like an hour, 30-minute, whatever, however much time I had massage.
Tori was living her best life.
I loved it so much. So anyways, I had gotten a manicure and then I broke a nail on this hike, but it's fine. It was really fun.
It was a fun hike. We like to hike.
Yeah. They had like one big rope that you could like grab onto so you don't fall to your death as you're like scaling up this mountain. But when we get to the top, there's a bunch of monkeys and I'm like walking through the rocks and one monkey jumped onto a rock and smacked my butt. I have a video of it.
Yeah, speaking of monkey
Didn't
fights,
even buy me a banana first.
I had to beat a monkey's ass.
That's right. So that was really cool. It was a really pretty viewing point, and we played with more monkeys, which I loved. And then we went kayaking, and then we actually saw a shrine. So we go to this beach, and
Oh my God, I literally forgot about this. This is so weird.
I knew this was here because I'll like look places up before we go, and there is like a legit reason for why this was there, like behind the reason of the temple, which I'm not going to get into because I don't know enough about it to speak on it. But it is a shrine dedicated to men parts. Won't say anything else. We don't get demonetized. So people
We're not monetized.
We might be. One
we
day.
can't get demonetized before we get monetized.
Whatever. I'm going to pretend we are manifesting. So I'm walking up and I'm like, Caden, you're going to love this. Like you're going to love this.
There was a crowd
shrine.
of people and I truly was not thinking
And
of
we
this.
go up and it's a bunch of like wooden carved out
male
men parts.
genitalias.
Yeah.
Like
And
hundreds of them.
Hundreds of
Different
them.
sizes, shapes.
Colors.
Yeah.
It was just so
Races.
random to be on a beach, like in a cave with like it was a shrine.
Yeah.
So
So
that was pretty random.
genitalia of all kinds.
Yeah. So we
Big,
did that.
tall,
Okay.
wide,
Enough.
girthy.
Stop it.
Would it be a stretch to say girthy?
That's enough.
Would it be a stretch to say some of them were stretched?
Caden.
What?
Stop.
I'm just saying
Anyways.
it was a little overwhelming.
That was the shrine. So that was interesting. And then.
Yeah, Tori was there praying for like half the day.
What is What's wrong with you?
Moving on.
So, I don't even know what we did the rest of this day, but then we go back and pretty much every night in Krabi, or really any of like the beachy parts of Thailand, are fire shows. Just on the beach at the end of pretty much every stairwell.
So sick.
Really, really cool fire shows. Like, so we watched one, I think, every single night.
There was a guy in a wheelchair who would do it.
Yeah, he'd
There's
roll
people
out
in a
on the
wheelchair.
beach,
Yeah,
and
they
he-
rolled him out on the beach.
he,
and
like,
started performing.
He made a ring of fire and lit a cigarette, which was pretty cool.
Like, amazing.
So that was awesome. We spent our days just eating a
hat.
lot. Okay, hold on. We're going to get to this. So I ate pad thai every single day of this trip. I'm not
ate
kidding.
Krabby Patties nonstop.
What?
Krabby Patties?
Okay. So pad thai every day, egg rolls every day. That's pretty much all we did. Eat smoothies, lay on the beach,
Yeah, the
get
fruit,
a massage, watch
is
a fire
amazing.
show, go to the night markets, Mai Tai.
the fighting.
Okay, Caden was such a brat about this. Let me explain. So we're going through this night market, and there's this huge truck that's going around like, come watch the fight tonight at 9 p.m.
No, but at the night market, there was people fighting.
There was people fighting. They did like a little teaser outside the market, and they're like, buy tickets, come to the Mai Tai show.
Yeah, so they're just crowded around. We're walking to get food, and there's two guys fighting each other.
Yeah, it was really cool. So I'm like, oh, let's go to the show. So we go to the night market, we get drinks, we get food, and they let you bring it all in. So we buy tickets. It wasn't the most inexpensive thing. It cost, at least a little bit. So
Compared
we
to
go
other
to sit
things,
in
yeah.
the show, and we start watching it, and I thought it was really cool just to see. It was different than what I was expecting.
It was very cool.
He didn't complain the whole time because they
I
were
didn't
kids.
complain the whole time. All right.
They were teenagers.
Yeah. So at first, they bring out the fighters, and I'm like, okay, they're pretty young, but
Yeah.
it was literally, what is
It's
Cobra
like
Kai?
Cobra Kai.
Have you seen Cobra Kai? That's
It
how it was.
That's how it was.
So we had Daniel's son. What were the?
I don't know what their names
Okay,
are.
so it was basically Cobra Kai, and then they bring out the next fighters, and I'm like, okay, hopefully they progress into like a main
Get
event.
older.
Around the same age.
No, it
and
was
I'm
like
just
two
like,
schools that were competing.
they're
Anyways,
they were like 16 maybe.
yeah.
And then I'm like, Tori, if another set of kids
He
come
goes,
out,
if another
I don't want to
child
see a bunch of
comes out,
kids fight each other. I want to see
Yeah.
some grown men kick
Get
each other in the
knocked
head.
out, yeah.
Yes. And I was like, if one more kid walks out, I'm like, all right,
let's go.
we're
But
out.
it was really cool. So
It was
fire shows,
definitely cool to watch.
Mai Tai, Caden's hat. Go ahead, take the lead here, Caden.
So we're watching, we're on the beach, and then,
We're watching the sunset.
yes, and I decide to indulge in a cigar.
Yeah.
So I go to light my cigar.
I literally say to
It's
him,
windy on
he
the
had
beach.
had to like light it up a couple times, and I keep saying, I'm like, Caden,
Tori had previously dropped my lighter into the ocean, so I was having
Right.
some lighter difficulties as well.
I did drop it in the ocean, but it
So-
was fine. Okay. And Caden keeps lighting the cigar using his hat as a windshield. And I literally had just finished saying, hey, you probably shouldn't do that. I can use my hands. And Caden goes, no, it's been working fine. Then what happens?
Well, the hat caught on fire. I was actually part of the show. People started applauding.
No, they didn't.
Yeah,
He
they
lit,
did.
and this was the hat that he bought in Phuket. It was like a Chang
Chang beer.
is the beer
Yeah.
that they have there.
It was a pretty sick
It's
hat.
a sick hat. We still
I
have
had to
it.
haggle for it. I have it. And
Burned a hole in it.
yeah, well, the hat caught on fire.
That was so
Tori goes,
funny.
"Oh my god, Caden!" I was like, "Oh!" I started blowing it out, throwing sand on it. But
It was funny
You
because
know-
I just warned you about that.
well, it's okay. I'm a firefighter, so
Okay, so before we move on to the very last day of the trip and like the bigger story, how we ended our Thailand trip, I forgot to say something about when we were doing the elephant sanctuary. So during that day that we did like the full guided tour and the hike, our tour guide cut up this fruit for us and he made us spoons out of bamboo. And we were eating this fruit and I was like, oh my God, this fruit is really good. It's like sour, kind of sweet, has all these seeds. I was like, it's really good. And the tour guide had been asking us, like he's trying to learn English. So he would tell us the word in Thai and then he would ask us what the English word was.
Mhm.
So he was like, what do you call this in America? And me and Caden were like, we don't have this in America.
I've
Like,
never seen it before.
we've never had this fruit before.
Yeah.
No idea. I said, this isn't an American fruit. And he was like, really? You don't have it in America? And we were like, no. Like we said this multiple times.
Yeah.
It was passion fruit.
I've never eaten a passion fruit before.
No,
I
me
thought
neither.
honestly it was like a flavor.
Yeah. No, it was passion fruit. We found out later and I was like, we are such idiots.
Yeah, it's called passion
it's
fruit.
Passion fruit. So our Thailand trip did not end in Krabi. We actually went back to Bangkok for one more day before we flew out at like 2 a.m. to go to Africa. How did we end our trip? This was Valentine's Day, by the way, how we ended our Thailand trip.
So if you listen to the last episode, we talked about getting tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're hearing this now, then that means my mom now knows that we got tattoos.
As of this moment, she doesn't, but she will soon.
Yeah, she will soon.
Oh, God.
We got tattoos. Sakyant tattoos.
Yeah.
So they do it with a bamboo stick.
So it's like a stick and poke method. So a Sakyant tattoo is a traditional tattoo applied using the hand poke method by a holy man while enchanting prayers using a steel needle in either ink or oil that is started with an offering and ended with a magical blessing. The Sakyant tattoo offers protection to the wearer and serves as a talisman of affirmation for a personal quality, quest, or goal. So Sakyant tattoos are a traditional Thai tattoo, and they're meant to only be received in Thailand. I know like a lot of people in America will offer them just like at a tattoo shop, but they're meant to be given by either a monk or an ajarn. So an ajarn is somebody who dedicates their life to the study of the Sakyant tattoo. Sometimes they're retired monks, not always, but they've dedicated their life to studying this and doing these ceremonies and doing the tattoos. So we couldn't go to a monk because monks don't tattoo women. So we had to go to an ajarn.
Yeah, so we find an ajarn.
Yeah.
We show up. We have a flight. No, we have a flight the next day.
Like
So-
2 in the morning.
Yeah, 2 in the morning. So we go to the ajarn. He doesn't speak really
Any English.
English
And it's
at
like
all.
in the middle of nowhere. And you go upstairs and I forget the name. I could look it up, but there's a name of like what they're, it's not a temple because it's at like their home office area, but it's a sacred place that's blessed, and that's where they perform the ceremony and where you get the tattoo.
Yeah, so I already had an idea of which one I wanted to get. Honestly, I was contemplating getting like a full back tattoo.
Thank God you didn't. Because
So,
I don't know how you would have.
Yeah, so I was throwing around some ideas, but I ended up getting the Gaoyord.
Kelly, I talked him out of the full back tattoo. I really did.
And I only have one tattoo. So I was pretty nervous about it. I haven't got a tattoo since I was 18.
And everything we looked up was like, this hurts. It's not like a normal tattoo.
We're watching videos like, well, let's see what it's like. And the people's faces are just literally the fear and the pain that they have on their face.
Out. Like some people were
Yeah.
passing out. One girl was like throwing up from it. Like really intense. Because also nothing in Thailand is like air conditioning for the most part. So like no AC. You're getting stabbed in your back by a man who speaks no English. Like it was such an experience though. At the end of the day, it was such a cool,
no
cool
regrets
experience.
at
Like,
all.
I loved every second of it. And he was pretty funny because he
was funny.
So the ajarn who was tattooing us had diabetes, and he knew how to say like that in English. So he'd tell us, he'd be like, diabetes. Ooh.
Yeah, and I was like, ooh, you're about to tattoo me,
He
son.
was trying to say like, he was like, sugar low. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm like, you better make sure your sugar is
It
not
was
low if
so
you're about to be
funny.
jabbing me with a bamboo stick.
Yeah. So Caden's took a long time because his is a
my
lot
God.
bigger than
so
mine.
I sit down on the floor and they give me like a pillow to hug. And then I'm assuming it's his wife.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It was a woman and a man, and they have to
Okay.
like hold Caden still and hold his skin taut so that like he doesn't move. During
Yeah, and
the
he was,
process.
and they were using a translator. The woman spoke a little more English. So we were communicating back and forth. But they were pretty adamant about like me not moving.
Mm-hmm.
And
He would do like scare sounds to make sure you don't jump. So he'd make like a loud sound and to make sure you don't like jump at it and
right.
move.
And he showed me, he had all different like size bamboo sticks too. So he had one that was like,
he was making all kinds of jokes.
he was making a lot of jokes.
He like
was really
tattooed
funny.
Caden and he showed the bamboo stick and it was small and he goes, you? This. And then he pointed to me and he brings out this giant
Like a long
stick and was
staff,
like,
yeah.
her? This one.
Yeah. So,
It was funny.
and so knowing what I know now, I probably wouldn't go into getting a back tattoo with sunburn.
Yeah. And he
That-
said that on the translator. He was like, you have a sunburn, it's going to make things complicated.
Yeah. And then I can see him communicating with the guy, and the guy goes, ooh, sunburn, and like makes a face, and I was like, great.
This is not
Yeah.
going to feel good.
So it hurt, and it took like 45 minutes, an hour.
An hour for yours. Mine,
Yeah.
7 minutes.
And it was like, it's on my spine. He's drilling into my back. And he would like, once it got towards the end, he'd be like, all finished, 20-minute touch up. And I'm like, haha, 20 minutes. And then he took 20 minutes
And then he'd
touching
be
it
like,
up. And
20-minute touch up again.
Yeah. And I'm like, you're not joking. I'm like, I was literally, so I got to a happy place where,
He
I
was silent. Caden I was trying to talk to him during this, dead silent. He
Yeah.
would not say a word.
I
And
just
then
closed my
understood.
eyes. I may have fell asleep a little bit of it.
That
but
would be for the best.
I just went to my Zen place and calmed down, and it was okay. But just like the position I was sitting in for so long because I had to have my head like down. He kept pushing my head down because when he would tattoo the top part, he was, kind of almost to
High
my
up
neck.
to your neck. Yeah.
So just being in that position, I was so grateful when it was done that like I could not imagine if I was to get a full back tattoo. You wouldn't. There's no way.
Yeah.
I'd have to come back.
I go to sit down to do mine, and I'd ask Caden, I was like, how bad is it? And he was like, it's bad. And I was like, really? But he wasn't making a sound the whole time. So I was like, well, it can't be that bad. Like, he never asked for a break. Like, he did an hour. Like, I have a pretty high pain tolerance, I think. Like, let's see, except for when it comes to my stomach. And so I sit down, and he does the first couple taps, and I was like, okay, that's not too bad. And then after the first couple, I was like, good Lord. I have more tattoos than Caden. And so I was like, I'll be fine. This hurt. And mine was small. It only took 7-8 minutes, maybe 10
Hers
max.
was very quick.
And I was so grateful that that's all it took because I never asked him to stop, but there was definitely like certain parts he would hit. It was like burning. And normal tattoos don't burn. Like it hurts a little bit, but it was like burning. And then he would get to certain parts on my neck. For me, it wasn't even my bone, like my spine. But if he would move like over to the side, for some reason that hurt more for me. And I was just like, and I was bent over on the pillow like him, trying not to like breathe too much because I didn't want to move. But then by the time I stood up, they make you stand up slow. And I kind of understood. I stood up and I was like, my head was a little dizzy. And Kaden was like, that was 10 minutes.
It was so quick. I was like,
I don't know how he would have sat through a full hour through a full back tattoo.
No.
And the Adjarn who was doing us, of course, like he's head to toe in these Sakyan tattoos. So anyways, to talk about the actual tattoo, each symbol and what you get has a different meaning, but then how you kind of determine the intention and the blessings and like the magical powers of the tattoo are in the ceremony afterwards. So you can have a symbol that means one thing, but then through the blessing that he gives you in the whole ceremony is how you determine like what your tattoo represents and like what you want it to do for your life. So it's meant to be personal. You can share with people. You don't have to. So you go through like a 30-minute ceremony afterwards where we have to sit.
Which was very cool.
There's like a rope that goes all throughout his this room, this temple area. I can't think of what the word is for it, but he holds it. We both hold it so that we're all linked. And then we go through the whole service, and it was really cool. It was like a very powerful just experience.
Yeah.
And then you give your offerings afterwards.
No regrets on that one. Yeah. Happy with how it turned out.
Yeah.
And if we ever go back to Thailand, maybe I'll continue.
Yeah. Pretty sick. So Sakyan tattoos.
Go to Thailand.
Actually, this is funny because I've been talking about Sakyan tattoos for years. Like since I ever wanted to go.
They're very recognizable. If you know what they look like, you can see it on people like, oh, you have a Sakyan tattoo. You had to get in Thailand.
Okay, wait. So 2 stories off these Sakyan tattoos really quick. First, we were in Iceland a couple years ago, and we were swimming at the Blue Pool. What's it called?
Blue Lagoon?
The Blue Lagoon in Iceland. And we swim past this guy, and I had been like deep in my Sakyan research because I knew I wanted to go to Thailand in the next few years. And when researching Thailand, I found out about these tattoos and I knew I wanted one. Caden originally did not want any. Then we get to Thailand and he's like, I'm going to get a whole back. I was like,
0 to 100. Soon. Yeah.
So anyways, we're in Thailand one day and we swim past a guy and I literally stopped dead in my tracks and I looked at him and I was like, is that a Sakyan tattoo? And the guy like turned to me and looked so surprised and was like, yeah. And so anyways, you can recognize them places. Yeah. But what I'm going to say is yesterday at work, I'm meeting with one of the new hires and I'm sitting there talking to her and I'm looking at her wrist and I'm staring at it and I'm like, half of her wrist is my tattoo. I didn't even tell you this yet. It's got like the part that goes down and then swirls and then hers leads into a flower, like a lotus blossom or whatever. And I'm staring at it and I'm going, where'd you get that? And she's going, oh, I got it in South Carolina. And I was like, do you know what that tattoo is? And she was like, yeah, it means like the journey to enlightenment, the flowers enlightenment. Like it's a tattoo from Asia, but I got it here in America. And I was like, half of that symbol I just got by an Adjarn, like in actual Asia. And I showed her my tattoo and I was like, that is so crazy. Like I've never seen my exact symbol on anyone. And then here it is on one of my coworkers.
Yeah, it's super ironic too.
Yeah. And I literally came in the exact like top half of my tattoo. It was so weird.
Well,
yeah.
Crazy.
So anyways, that's a random story. But all right. So should we segue into Africa?
Yeah.
Mambo
VP.
Mambo VP Rafiki.
Mm-hmm. What's up, my friend?
What's up, my friend?
No,
so,
that's a fair question.
Tanzania. We heard it all different types of ways.
I like Tanzania.
Tanzania, I think, is what like our tour guides were predominantly saying. So we get to Tanzania. We go to a hotel. We're staying one night in the hotel. And the next morning, we're starting a 4-night, 5-day safari with the EATL tour company. Looks like it's EATL, but it stands for Experience a Taste of Local Life, which is the tour company we went with our favorite people ever, our 2 tour guides, Manasi and Babu.
Babu.
We're going to talk about them, but they were amazing.
Yeah, Babu was able to say his name off the bat. Manasi
Took a minute.
took a couple days.
Yeah, it took a couple of days to get that down. So we had 2 tour guides, and then it was just them, me, and Caden in our, I don't want to say
Rover.
Jeep.
Yeah,
in
Land
our
Rover.
Land Rover. Land Rover. Land Cruiser.
Land Cruiser.
Land Cruiser for the next 5 days. So we kicked off our safari. We went to a bunch of different places, different national parks.
Yeah,
But
first day we were in Tarangire.
Tarangire, which we're definitely saying wrong.
No, that's how you say it.
Okay.
Tarangire.
Then we did Ngorongoro Crater.
That we might be saying wrong.
Yeah. And then we did the Serengeti, and we were in the Serengeti for a few days. So all in all, like as an overall summary, amazing.
Yeah.
So cool.
Like you're on a different planet.
It feels fake. Like part of it, I'm just at an amusement park going on like a fake safari.
I felt like I
and
was
then
in the land before time also
Yeah.
a little bit. Like I wanted to see some dinosaurs out there.
Then you realize you're like, this is real. Like I'm really just out here in the wild with these animals. And that was just like, I don't even know I can't put words to it to see these animals out in the wild.
So we filmed a YouTube video
Yeah.
trying to, meet the cast of The Lion King.
Yeah.
Pretty successful. And we were also looking for the Big Five.
Which we saw.
We did see the Big Five. How about don't sneeze when I'm trying to talk about the Big Five?
Sorry.
Okay.
So we saw all kinds of animals. Elephants, giraffe.
What are the Big Five, though?
Elephant,
Yes.
lion,
Yes.
cheetah,
Yes.
leopard. No.
Okay. No.
Leopard.
Cheetah and leopard are definitely.
Okay, then I think it's just leopard. Rhino, buffalo.
How many did you name?
I said 7. I don't know what they are, but we saw them all.
Elephant, lion, buffalo, rhino,
Leopard.
leopard or cheetah?
I think it's leopard.
We saw a leopard and a cheetah.
Whatever. We saw a leopard, a cheetah, giraffe, elephant, buffalo, wildebeest.
We saw some things
rhino.
that I can't repeat because I don't know the names.
Oh, yeah. We
Little
saw a bunch of
dog
different,
stuff.
like, Giselle and, like, these little dog things. And we saw,
Who's Giselle?
what'd I say?
Who is Giselle?
Gazelle.
Is that a friend that you made
Okay, sorry.
on the way there?
Gazelle. We saw Pumbaa and Timon.
Yes, we did see them.
So we saw a lot of different
I never got
animals.
an autograph. They wouldn't give me
Yeah.
one.
So we stayed in luxury campsites throughout our safari. So there's the option that certain places that you can like pitch a tent and stay like that. We did not. We stayed at like luxury campsites. So they were still tents, but they had like a full functioning bathroom, beds, the whole works. But at all these campsites, you can't leave your tent when the sun goes down.
Yeah, so when we say full luxury, like there's not gates and stuff.
No.
Like, you're camping in the national parks.
You just don't have to pitch the tent. The tent and the bed are always there.
Yeah, and under no circumstance when it gets dark out are you allowed to leave your room.
You're not even
without
supposed to
a guide.
unzip the tent. And,
No,
like,
they give
step
you
onto
a
your porch.
walkie-talkie, and they give you a pretty strict talk that once it gets too dark to see, you're not allowed to leave your tent without radio and
You
someone
have
come
to get
you.
an escort. So, of course, they leave us with a flashlight the first tent. That was a mistake on their part. We were the farthest tent, the farthest away you could get.
Very far.
And Caden's like, let's go look for animals.
You know what's great too? Whole time, any campsite we went to, they were all carrying my bags, and it was lovely.
No, this happened
Tori-
off rip when we got to Africa. They would literally take at our first hotel that we stayed at
Hand me
before
a drink,
safari,
take my bag. Oh, thank you.
They would take his backpack, and here I
Tori would
am,
like reach her bag out. They just keep on walking.
that's not even a joke. That actually kept happening. It's fine. I'm an
was
independent
like,
woman.
Yes.
But I
That's
had
awesome.
questions.
Yeah.
So there was nights where like we didn't want to necessarily go outside, but we definitely wanted to like shine a flashlight outside our tent and look for things. But then I would get scared. One of the times I unzipped the tent, I'm like floor level, like crouched down, and I just see eyes staring back at me. But it was just like this little like kangaroo bunny thing that they have. I don't know what it was called.
I
but-
was definitely trying to see some wildlife. I was shining all sorts. They
Well,
didn't, they didn't say we couldn't leave our porch. I kind of consider the
no,
porch
they literally
the tent.
said don't go outside the tent.
Well,
So,
the
one of
rules
the
were meant to be
mornings-
broken.
One of the mornings we woke up super early because we had a hot air balloon ride over the Serengeti, which we'll get to. And I unzipped the tent to like look and see if our escort was outside yet. And I unzipped the tent and I look outside and I'm like, Caden, there's an animal literally right here, right outside of our tent. And he comes out and he's like, that looks like a bush. And it's so pitch black out and we don't have a flashlight this time. And I go, I think that's a buffalo. And Caden's like, I don't see anything. And I said, the tail's moving. And then he sees it and we were like, oh crap, because
it started walking.
something
I was like,
else
bushes don't walk.
started walking like right past our tent and the other tent, to where when our tour guide came up, I told him, I said, a buffalo just walked through that bush. And he was like, we need to go.
Yeah, he was like, let's walk quick.
Because let me tell you something about Africa that you might not know. Buffalo and hippos.
Two main killers.
They're the ones to watch for.
Not the lions, not the cheetahs.
Nope, they call the buffalo the man killer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. On, all of our excursions throughout the day, seeing animals, we got up close to some lions. We got up close to all sorts of animals. If I wanted to
stick my hand down, I would have touched them.
Very, very close. They would not get anywhere near buffalo.
Not even close. There was the day that we left, we drove past a buffalo and it picked its head up and like paid attention to us, and our driver had the foot on the gas.
Yeah, and when they're that cautious about buffalo, it's
there was
legit.
An elephant at one point that like trumpeted at us and did like a fake charge from far away, and our tour guide could care less. But a buffalo, even anywhere near looking at you, they were like, no, we got to go. We're not staying. Mm-hmm. And so that was something I did not know.
I really had no idea that buffalo
hippos,
were
I knew.
aggressive.
I went to Africa knowing that I have beef with hippos. I went down a deep dive of watching videos of hippos, and I knew that they'll chase you. The hippos gave us no problem, but the buffalo, that was shocking to me. And there was actually one morning that we left for our hot air balloon, and there was like a small bridge that had a stream going over it that we had passed multiple times the day before. It rained
really bad.
And there's a lot of hippos in this water, but you can cross the bridge fast enough that it shouldn't bother the hippos' territory, and you just kind of look at them for a second and you cross the bridge. There's signs everywhere that's like, do not stop on bridge because this is like a hippo pool.
Well, yeah, and water's flowing over
flowing,
but like not crazy.
This night, it rained so much that at 4 a.m. when it's pitch black out and we're on our way to the hot air balloon, our driver stops at this stream and was like contemplating what to do. And then was like, we cannot cross because if it takes us too long to cross or we get stuck and we are right next to this, like, I don't know if they're called herds of hippos. Hippo nest, if you will. He was like, that's way too dangerous. So we had to go
crocodiles too.
40 minutes around to get around these hippos. Like
fair.
Yeah. I was fine with it. It was making me nervous. So that was interesting. So yeah, hippos and buffalo, guys, watch out. I feel like something really cool about the places that we stayed was that, and something I'll give, I don't know if all of Africa's like this, but in Tanzania, however you want to say it, the people are so kind.
Oh, yeah. At any campsite we stayed at, they're always singing and dancing.
They had this one song that I was obsessed with. Literally, I would have, like, our tour guide showed it to us the first day. It's their song of Hakuna Matata, which also maybe I'm just not cultured. Now I am. Educated, but I really did think that Hakuna Matata was like something that Disney just blew up and like coined, but it's something that they say all the time in Africa. They have their own songs, which way better than the Disney Hakuna Matata. I was obsessed with this song that they would sing. And so at all the campsites, all of the people who worked there would come out and they would put on like little shows for us because they were just having a good time, like dancing and singing.
They were good.
So good.
They were really good.
Yeah. So I loved the people. That was like one thing. And all the other tour guides that we met, like everybody was just amazing. I really liked them. And we learned some Swahili. Mm-hmm. Babu and Manasi were teaching us like little phrases here and there, like how to say let's go, or that's cool, or please, thank you, hello, how are you? Yeah, it was really cool.
Let's talk about Babu and Manasi because they deserve some recognition.
They do. Babu and Manasi, honestly, VIP. Love them.
So Babu, I would say, was like the main tour guide, probably most experienced. He's been doing it for a while.
He was like dad.
Yes.
Like he was our dad of the trip.
Yeah. Manasi, not too far off our age.
He's 24.
I think. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was 24.
Yeah.
Young.
So, some separate careers that they have.
Yeah, so we're talking to them and we're just like trying to get to know them. And they spoke really good English. There was still some language barriers there. And Babu starts telling us that he's a movie star. He's like, I'm a movie star. And we were like, come again? You're a movie star? He's like, yeah, I'm filming a movie in France, right?
Yeah,
it was
Paris,
France.
I think
Paris. He's like, I'll be there in a couple weeks. I go back to film the rest of it. And we were like, oh.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then Manasi drops that he's a DJ. He's like, I'm a DJ. We were like, oh.
He's like,
play us some music. Yeah. And he did.
Yeah, and he did. And he was good. So, many careers in that. We were covered from all angles.
And they were so cool because, well, first off, like we were filming a lot while we were there. And they were just so down for like
good sports
whatever we needed to do. Caden filmed some bits with them and they were like so funny about it. And they just made everything a good time. Like however long we wanted to spend.
We were spending all day, every day with them.
We
so
were with them
we got
the
close.
Entire Africa trip. Yeah.
Mhm.
All the time. We would eat our dinners with them, our picnics during the day, our lunches with them, breakfast with them, like everything.
Babu, crazy good driver too.
It is, we were driving
So,
for 10 hours a day.
They call it the African
African
massage.
massage.
Yes. So we
Yeah.
got the Thailand massages. This was the African massage.
Which just means like you're bouncing down the safari road.
The roads are not smooth.
All day long though.
Yeah,
all day.
It's dusty and it is bumpy.
And so he is driving for like 8 to 10 hours a day, all day long down these like bumpy, difficult roads, dodging like potholes, dodging some boulders in the road, like very impressive driving.
Mm-hmm.
Except
we got stuck.
Yeah. This was such a good day.
This was our last day.
Yeah, it made it so much more fun if we're being honest.
Yeah, so it made it interesting.
We were on the hunt for cheetahs. I told him I really wanted to see a cheetah. So we went deep into the Serengeti.
And so everyone who's driving in these Land Rovers, they have like radios. So you could hear, if there was a spot of this
is a good spot to come see lions, or
right.
Hey, a cheetah was spotted here. Like any of the
they'd relay it
difficult to
on
see
the
animals.
radio and give people a heads up. So we had got some wind that there was cheetahs in a specific area, so we were on the hunt. To get there, like we said, it rained a whole lot the night before, so everything was really muddy.
Yeah.
So everyone was getting stuck, us included.
But it was so funny because as we're stuck, and luckily like where we were, there wasn't any tall grass around, so they won't let you out of the car. You're not supposed to get out of the car at all, but like if we really had to pee or something, Bobby would pull over somewhere with like low grass just so he could make sure there was no like cats hiding that are going to come get us. So this area didn't have any cats or like high grass or anything. So Caden gets out of the car so that he can start filming.
Of course, I grabbed my camera because it was amazing.
First off, we're also getting covered in mud because we didn't realize we were getting stuck when it happened. He started spinning the tires and our top is open. So mud is just pouring in all over us. But it was so funny because all these other cars are lined up watching us completely get stuck. And at one point, like Bobby was apologizing and he was like, it's an experience. And I was like, I don't think you understand. In America, like we do this for fun. Like we intentionally do this. So he tried to get us out. He couldn't. So he gets out of the car and then somebody else gets in our car with me in it still and gets us out. And then we got stuck one more time after that.
Other, vehicles were getting stuck. It was everyone trying to get through this area.
It was like a mud fest situation. All four of us. But the funny part was that nobody else was really getting out of their car, but Babu was cool. And I think he trusted us too. Like if he told us to get back in, we'd get back in right away. So Caden's like walking this long strip of mud, filming everything. And then when we get out, I get out of the car and I look to my left and there's a pond with just a hippo staring back at me. And I was like, this is cool. Like we're all chill with the hippo standing here. Like everything's good.
Hippo was watching the show too.
Getting stuck honestly just made it all the more fun. And then right after that, 4 cheetahs.
Yeah,
we found 4 cheetahs after that. So
a lot more lions.
Oh, so many lions this day. I think this day alone we saw like 11 lions. It was, and this was the day like the elephant kind of like fake charged us. It was just like
we had lunch right next to 2 lions sleeping.
So normally you go to a picnic area and you get out of your car at like a designated picnic area, but we were really enjoying watching these like 2 lions on a rock and we were waiting for them to move. So Bobby was like, "Do you guys just want to have lunch in the car here?" And we were like, "Yes." So we had lunch with the lions, which was really cool.
Very close to throwing my apple at one.
Yeah, so we wanted to like
up. I need him standing or roaring or something.
Let me just tell you, the lions do not care about you. And actually, the 911 what story I have later does not agree with the statement I just made.
Oh, great.
But they did not care about us. Like not a single lion.
During the day, they sleep a lot. They're doing their hunting at night.
He said they sleep for 18 hours of the day, which is a lot.
Yeah,
lazy lions
until nighttime.
Yeah.
But we just had lunch there.
Yeah. Anything else from Safari that really stands out?
Hot air balloon.
Well, yes. I knew we were going to get to that.
No, I think we hit the highlights there.
Hot air balloon. Once in a lifetime situation for sure.
Loved it. I've always wanted to go on a hot air balloon. So to be able to do this, and we had to wake up really early to do it.
We woke up at like 3 a.m.
Yeah, 3 a.m. Had like a couple hour drive. Got there and they safety briefed us. What I didn't understand, I guess, when we were going into this is that you actually start like sideways. And
you don't just like step into the basket and it's upright. It's laying on its side.
So you get harnessed and you sit in like a seated position and you're on your back. And then they inflate the balloon.
You're like holding these straps like on your back.
Right.
Sideways.
And then just like that. They kind of just stand you up.
The
and
hot air
start-
balloon fills and it tips the basket up, and then you end up upright.
Yeah, and the tour was like 45 minutes an hour, and we got super high up.
So high. So like he takes you up really, really high at first just to get like a big aerial view, and then they drop you down lower. And also it depends on like which way the winds are going, but he'll drop down lower when there's animals. The only con I have to it, because we were doing like a safari in the sky, is that when you see an animal, you only can see them for a couple seconds because you're riding the wind. So there is no like, wait, turn around, I want to see him again. Like you see him and you keep moving. So
it was like a mixture. It was giving like a Lion King mixed with Up vibes.
Yeah.
And I was here for
We're
it
all
because
Disney this episode. Dory, we got Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
Lion King.
Up. So, and then just to be able to see like the African plains for like thousands of miles.
So Serengeti means
we watched the
endless,
sun come up.
Yeah, the Serengeti means the endless plain is what we learned. And being up in the hot air balloon, it really did look like that, like just endless for miles and miles and miles as far as you can see.
Yeah, and our guide was really
he was so funny. He was
too.
like ripping jokes left and right. Like a lion was in a tree that I spotted. I was like, look, a lion. And it ran away. And somebody was like, oh, I didn't get to see it. And he started calling to the lion. He's like, buddy, come back, buddy.
Mate.
It was so funny.
Yeah, and so landing was another thing that I was like, how does this work?
Yeah.
And what he described, he said, so there's 3 types of landings. He's like, you got the Hollywood landing, where you just kind of come in nice and soft and boom.
You land.
Just land. Perfect. He's like, then you got the second landing. It's like, you come in a little bit hotter, you bounce, and then you stop. And he's like, then you got the third landing. So you come in, you bounce, and then you land on your side.
Yeah.
He's like, we're going to do one of the 3, I promise.
We did the bouncy one.
We had the second one.
And it was so smooth still. But this is, again, where the buffalo come into play. We had just seen a lion, and then the area that our tour guide wanted to land, there was a buffalo. And he was like, I can't land there. Like he goes, I'd rather land back by the lion than the buffalo.
Yeah,
so this was another
buffalo.
guy being like, absolutely not. And he'd only been in Africa, I think he said like a year. And he was like, I won't go anywhere near the buffalo.
So he landed far enough away, and then
it scared them away because we were bigger than them.
Yeah, so we had our landing. We got out, had champagne.
Yeah, they give you champagne. There's like a whole tradition behind landing a hot air balloon and having champagne.
And then they picked us up, and we went and had breakfast.
Well, in the meantime, though, our basket mate, one of the girl who we like shared a ride with in the morning, got really sick when we were on the hot air balloon. And when we landed, she was in the car and she was like not feeling good. And we ended up getting in the car with her. And I knew I had a lot of things that could help her, because I don't come to these trips unprepared. I come with Zofran, Imodium, Tums, Pepsid, you name it, I've got it. Plus in Thailand,
Heroin.
I bought these. Stop it.
Fentanyl.
Okay.
Anything
all
she can steal
prescription
from
legal meds.
the hospital.
And that is not true. And when we were in Thailand,
I know Tori's bosses were watching this thing. Get her, she's stealing.
He's kidding. He's kidding. He's clearly kidding.
I'm clearly kidding.
And in Thailand, I got these like smell things that are supposed to help with dizziness and nausea. So we get in the car, and this girl's from. Stop it. We get in the car.
You're gonna get arrested at work.
This girl's from Australia. And so we had bonded earlier in the morning, telling her like we were in Australia last year. And I tell her, I go, hey, listen, I know you don't know me, but I have things that might help you. I said, I have Zofran, and I named all the meds. And she had no idea what any of them were. She was like, oh, in Australia, like we don't have those. And I was like, well, I totally get it if you're not comfortable. And she goes, no, I'll take them all. And these aren't in like containers. I have them in like a
like crushed up powder. And then you would take a straw.
Stop with this narrative. So I have them in like a travel container. So I give her all of them, and I give her boyfriends or husband. She was on her honeymoon. Stop it.
She felt much better.
Oh my God. She was on her honeymoon. So I gave her husband some too. They had both come down with like a stomach bug. And then we get to breakfast, and 30 minutes later, like the color's back in her cheek. She's feeling great. And she's like, I don't know what it was that did this for me, but I feel great. And Caden had made a joke.
That to you.
I gave it to her, and he goes, she was like, I was like, oh, I wasn't sure if you'd want to accept drugs, from a stranger. And Kaden goes, yeah, the hallucinations will only last about an hour.
Yeah, it's just a little side effect.
And she goes, what? And Kaden goes, nothing. So that was just a funny story. That was my good deed. Yeah, that was my good deed. At least my pills went to use for her. So then Kaden goes, don't give her our Zofran. We need that.
Well, she's trying to give everything away.
I was literally like, take this. I just wanted to help. So. Yeah.
Then they were having coffee and there's milk in it. We're like, well, we have lactate pills too.
Yeah, because one of the guys was like, oh no, I'm lactose intolerant. I said, I've got you there too. Don't you worry. Yeah. So anyways, that was the balloon. It was amazing. And then yeah, we did a whole nother day of safari. And then we had our very last day, which ended up being a 7-hour drive from the Serengeti to the airport.
So we had a very, very long flight home. So
17 hours.
To have a 7-hour drive.
No, actually, it was more than 17 hours. It was a 7-hour drive, 3-hour flight to our layover, 17-hour flight, and then another 3-hour flight.
It was I think I had blood clots.
Yeah, honestly.
I was literally thought I was going to throw.
So I've never put control of making such an important flight in anybody else's hands. Like, it's always up to us when we get to the airport. This was the first time that I had to keep being like, Babu, you know what time our flight is, right? Like, GPS is saying we're still 4 hours away. And he's like, no, an hour and a half.
He's like, we're going to make it there in plenty of time. And we're looking at how far away we are. And we're like, are you sure?
As a side note, Babu and Manasi were trying so hard to take me to every single jewelry store throughout this whole trip. Like, if we were going between two national parks,
Tori
I
wanted
really wanted
a Tanzanite ring.
So Tanzania is the only place in the world that Tanzanite is mined. And Tanzanite was my grandpa's favorite jewel. And I really, really wanted to get a Tanzanite ring when I was there. But I wanted something pretty particular and I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money. And
we had already been to how many? Like
only three. Only three.
So we went to 3. Are you sure it wasn't 4?
It was 3. And so he's telling me on the way back this day that we're going to stop at the 2 biggest stores. But I'm looking at the time and I'm like, there is no way we're going to make the flight if we stop anywhere. And I'm already thinking that. And he told us we were having lunch on the go. We were already kind of bummed because like we actually wanted to film this podcast with them. We were going to interview them and have them do like this animal versus that animal and do a whole segment. So we're on the way and we're both like, we're going to miss this flight. And then what happens?
We break down.
Our car breaks down the first time the entire trip.
We're driving and I go, oh, we're smoking now.
Yeah.
And then we pulled over.
And we pulled over. We weren't in the Serengeti anymore. We were like out of the national parks.
Yeah, we're on normal roads now. No more African massages.
But I don't know if he was just hauling and like the car overheated.
He was driving fast, trying to get us there.
He was trying to, catch up for time. And we broke down and I was like panicking. And the main reason I was panicking is because this flight home caused me so much anxiety and stress because when I saw that it was a 17-hour flight home, I was like, this is my time to shine. I did so much research on credit card points and it was my sole mission to fly home business class. And I went through hours on the phone call with different airlines and my credit card company to get us these business class 17-hour flights home, which I did for like $100 each, which was such a feat that I was like, we're going to miss the flight that I did all this work for. But he fixed it really quick. And
we had lunch. By the time we finished lunch, good to go.
Yeah, we were on our way. And then we very quickly had to stop at the Tanzanite store, to which then I panicked because I was like, this is my last chance. And originally I was only planning on spending like $150. I spent a lot more than that because I felt pressured. And I was like, oh my God,
Remember how I said we were still celebrating Tori's birthday?
This was my birthday present. Yeah. Well, I didn't get this was my birthday present. And so, but I wasn't planning on getting. Anyways, I panicked and I was like, that one. And then we walked out and I was like, oh my God, I should not have spent that much money, but it's fine.
Like, subscribe, listen to us,
now
share.
We got a Paris flight down and a Tanzanite ring. So, anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it for Africa.
Yeah. And then our flight home.
Oh, amazing. I actually did not want the flight to end.
So let's be very clear. When we do these trips, we are not bougie people.
No, we're not relaxing the whole time.
No, but we don't stay in like, the best places. We're pretty much on a budget the whole time. We bring one bag each. Like anytime we fly, it's like Spirit and Frontier. Like up until this point, we've taken like hundreds of flights. It feels like
never flown anything other than economy.
Flown business.
Not even premium economy.
And we've had lots of flights 10-hour plus, and we've never flown business or first class or anything. So this is the very first time, and it was amazing.
Oh my God, literally, I can't even describe it to you. And we're both on the flight and neither of us are sleeping because we're just enjoying relaxing so much because we've been so like in a car for 10 hours.
We didn't have TV in Africa.
No TV, which is fine. I mean,
we didn't have TV in like Thailand either.
But we had no time to just like kind of be on our own too. I was sitting in front and Caden was sitting behind me and we each had our own nook. So it was just like, I'm laying completely flat with my comforter and my pillow.
Seats would recline all the way down. Yeah. We had pillows,
I had
blankets.
Unlimited wine. And so they're like giving us breakfast at this hour, but we were both still on like a different time frame. So I'm like, more wine, please. Mm-hmm. And we're just like living our best lives. And they're like, okay, 2 hours left of the flight. And I was sad.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
It was the first time just really being able to relax the whole time.
Such like, I can't even describe to you how amazing this was.
Yeah, and to be already so tired on the way home from a trip, like, man, What if I can ever go back?
I'm fine with spending the money.
Oh
I
my-
understand. I will never do it for like any flight less than 10 hours, and probably even the flights there.
On the way there, you're excited. On the way home,
You just want to
you
chill.
just want to be home.
So if you're contemplating like figuring out how to use your credit card points to book a business class flight, like figure it out. It is so worth it. It was
can confirm.
amazing.
Mhm.
So that's pretty much it for our trip. Well, we didn't get to film with Manasi, but I thought it would still be fun to do a this or that animal from like safari animals.
I love this.
All right, let's hit it. And we did a few of these with our tour guides, and I was kind of like shocked by some of their answers.
Yeah, me versus Tori.
It's a clear answer. Who would win there?
I'd beat that up.
You wish. You wish. Okay, so first up, we're going to go lion versus cheetah. Who do you think would win?
A lion would definitely win that one.
Why?
Just sheer size.
You think?
Yeah, and just 10 times the size of them. I mean, the cheetahs we
Cheetahs are
saw
fast.
were small. Yeah, I mean, the cheetah would run away scared.
For me, I think it would depend on the time of day. Like, is the cheetah attacking the lion or is the lion attacking the cheetah?
I saw both them sleeping.
Yeah, they're both pretty lazy.
During the
I think
day.
probably a lion would win against a cheetah too.
Definitely lion takes
All right,
that
I'm going to
one.
stick with lion then. So then we'll go lion versus rhino.
This one's tougher.
I think I'm still going to go lion.
Why?
Well, because I feel like a rhino, the biggest thing the rhino has is like the force to hit somebody with, but a lion could like jump on the rhino's back and like tear into them.
I definitely think that the lion is more agile.
They're
for
more
sure.
agile.
A rhino,
They can't move as much. Like
No,
if a
I
lion's
don't-
on their back, they can't like turn around and get them off, but a lion could, or a lion could maybe outrun a rhino.
I don't know. I don't know
Sure.
which one's faster.
So what's your pick?
I'm going to pick lion on that one.
Lion?
Mhm.
Okay. So we're still with lion then. So we're going to go lion versus hippo. This is a hard one.
Hippo.
Hippo. I'm going to
Yeah.
go. It's hard because they tell you like the two main animals that are scariest for humans to be confronted with, and the hippo's one of them. But I don't know about a hippo versus another animal because they're big though.
They're much bigger than
And I
a
feel like
lion.
they're kind of rubbery. Like, wouldn't it be a little hard for a lion to like latch onto them?
I don't know. They're fast on land and deadly in the water,
They're
which
really
a
territorial,
lion
too.
is not.
Yeah, if they dragged the lion into the water, the lion would be done for.
Yep.
So we're segueing to hippo, then hippo's winning now.
Yeah.
But then it's funny because then you take, okay, so now the hippo can beat the lion. Backing up, can the hippo beat the rhino and or the cheetah?
I don't know.
I think so.
A hippo would beat the rhino.
Yes, because of their mouths. Like their mouth is so big and can just like,
Yeah. Plus, hippos squat up for sure, too.
they do. So when you're comparing like a hippo versus a rhino, you're comparing like a squad of hippos versus a rhino.
Yeah. Like street rules, definitely the hippo would
Like
win.
it's a, what's it called when you get jumped? Like the rhino would be jumped by the hippo squad.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Rhinos don't run that deep.
I also think without a doubt the hippo would beat the cheetah. The cheetah might be able to outrun the hippo, but if they're coming head to head and a fight's happening,
the cheetah would be a Cheez-It for the hippo. There's no chance
That's
that a
true.
cheetah would go up against a hippo.
okay, so far we've got the hippo winning. So what about hippo versus buffalo?
Hippo, still, because
I think I'm gonna switch and go buffalo.
what, you think a buffalo could kill a hippo?
Everyone was terrified
They're
of buffalo
terrified of them, but that's because of the size of us.
because the buffalo are bigger than the hippo.
False.
Yes, they are.
False.
Yes, they are.
False.
What do you mean false? There was a giant buffalo outside of our tent. That thing was huge. You think the hippo's bigger?
Look into the camera right now and tell them that you said a buffalo is bigger than a hippo.
A buffalo's bigger than a hippo.
False.
What's the issue with that?
Okay.
It's true. Do you want me to pull up their sizes? I'm
Yeah,
not saying
actually,
weight.
yes.
I think a hippo weighs more, but a buffalo like has the height and the width more than the hippo.
The width of a hippo?
They're big.
Look it up right now.
Okay.
One, look up the weight because I'm interested for that. But what you're saying is baffling me right now.
Really?
I'm not saying that a buffalo might not put up a good fight against a hippo, but they're not bigger than a hippo.
I'm looking it up. Okay, hippos can be anywhere from 9.5 to 14 feet long and weigh 5,000 to 8,000 pounds.
Okay, how many 5 to 8,000 pound buffalo are there roaming the Serengeti?
I might be
look
wrong
up that.
about this. Okay.
Okay, so we said 5. Before you say how
It's
much,
a water buffalo. Where's the
Before
regular buffalo?
you say how much a buffalo is, right now we have hippo 5,000 to 8,000 pounds. Now, how much does the buffalo weigh?
Well, I'm pretty sure I'm wrong because I'm on this.
Okay.
I'm on this size matters list, and they number them. And hippo's number 2, and the buffalo we saw aren't on this list.
Right.
So, but giraffes are on this list because they're taking height into consideration.
Okay.
So
are buffaloes taller than giraffes as well?
no, I'm not that dumb.
Look up how heavy a
I
buffalo,
am.
like a grown full size adult buffalo.
Okay.
How much? How much? Did they break 1,000?
I was really wrong. Okay, I will accept defeat. I was incorrect.
How much?
Okay, so it says the African buffalo can weigh between, I can't even say it,
Go ahead.
660 to 1,940 pounds. I was wrong, okay?
Okay.
I was wrong.
All right.
They seemed bigger when I was looking at them.
Yeah, I guess.
All right, fine. So the hippo can win again. The hippo will beat the buffalo.
Still, yeah, I do think that the hippo would take on the buffalo. But having said all of that, I still wouldn't want to mess with a buffalo.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
8,000 pound buffalo or a 500 pound buffalo.
So there's not very many animals I would compare the hippo to try to beat because
Buffalo, apparently.
Well, I'm talking about asking more questions. Like I'm not going to do buffalo versus giraffe or hippo versus giraffe because it's going to be hippo, or hippo versus gazelle because it's going to be hippo.
Can giraffe beat anyone?
Okay, wait, actually that's an interesting topic I just thought about. Our tour guide, Babu, told us that the giraffe has a deadly kick. So a giraffe, if they kick an animal, can kill any animal with one kick.
Any animal?
That's what they said.
I do believe that they have a pretty serious kick.
So maybe if the giraffe is able to kick the hippo, that might be the only way the giraffe can win. But I think it would probably just lose to begin with. I think the hippo would get to it before he could kick him.
Yeah.
So far, I have decided the hippo is actually the true king of the safari.
What about grilled cheese versus taco?
That has nothing to do with animals.
Well, it's still a fair question, though.
Taco.
Why?
Because you can put all different types of toppings on it. You could have hard shell. You could have soft shell.
What does that have to do with fighting?
Oh, I thought you were asking me which one I liked better.
No, which one would win in a fight?
Taco.
Why?
Let me tell you why. Because if it's a hard shell, why are we talking about this? Okay.
Just answer the question.
I have points. If it's a hard shell taco, then it can break off part of its hard shell and use it like a weapon, like a knife, and stab the grilled cheese. Secondly, taco with hot sauce uses the hot sauce into the grilled cheese's eye. They're blind. They can't fight if they can't see.
Okay.
So the taco would win because of the hot sauce and the hard shell. The grilled cheese got nothing. The grilled cheese could maybe get them stuck in the gooey cheese, but that's it. That's their only power in this situation. You weren't expecting me to come at you with some strategy.
Not really, no.
Yeah. Taco. Okay. I have a couple more animals. So obviously hippo up at the top. But now, what about the lower ones down below? Who would win? Leopard versus cheetah.
I'm still not 100% sure what the difference is. They look the same to me.
The leopard's bigger and can climb trees. The cheetah is smaller, way faster, and can't climb trees.
I say leopard then, because
I say cheetah.
they're run away. They're runaway scared.
No, but the cheetahs are way more agile because they're quick. They could do some quick maneuvers. The leopard's a little bit bigger.
I'm pretty sure I don't think we're saying that leopards aren't fast.
I'm going to go cheetah.
Are we saying that leopards aren't fast?
We're going to do rapid fire.
Are we saying that leopards aren't fast?
No, we're not saying that. We're going to go rapid fire here, though, okay? Cheetah or leopard?
Leopard.
Cheetah.
Great white or killer whale?
That's not in the safari.
It's still a fair question, though.
Okay. You know my answer here, and this is not rapid fire because I'm going to pick great white. I'm going to pick...
Yes, she's coming to her senses.
No,
you heard it.
I'm going to pick killer whale. You're going to pick great white.
Wait, who would win in a fight?
Oh, no. Normally we ask the question who you'd rather be stranded in the water with. Who would win in a fight?
Yeah.
Probably the great white. Okay, no, because here's the thing. You think about hippos. Yeah, but if the great white wins in the fight, that means I don't want to be in the water with the great white. I'd rather be in the water with the loser of that fight. So then I am right.
Who would win in a fight?
Who would win in a fight? It depends, because does the killer whale have its pod with them? Because they play.
One killer whale versus one great white.
Great white.
Great white wins?
Wins in the fight. What do you think?
Killer whale, 100. They're way smarter. They're way bigger.
You're having a hard time staying on the safari track today with tacos and grilled cheese, great white, and next you're going to ask me silverback gorilla versus, what's the other one?
Grizzly bear.
Grizzly bear.
Another great one.
Who would win?
Mm-hmm.
Silverback gorilla. I can't not choose silverback gorilla. They are terrifying.
Have you seen The Revenant? Leonardo DiCaprio.
Wait, but have you seen recently? This is like pop news. This just happened. There was 2 zookeepers who were cleaning up the enclosure of the silverback gorilla, and somehow the silverback was supposed to be in his little nook, and somebody let him out, and he got into the enclosure with these 2 zoo workers. Mm-hmm. And did you see the video?
No.
It's pretty crazy because he comes like barreling out like pull, pull, pull. And then one of the zoo workers like runs for the door, but the other one was kind of trapped between the gorilla and the door. Mm-hmm. The gorilla ended up running one side, and this woman booked it for the door, and they made it out. But it was like a pretty crazy video. And I was like, I would pee my pants.
Do you think that they're still bitter over Harambe?
Yeah, everyone in the comments was like,
this is for Harambe.
About Harambe.
Yeah, I guess I didn't take into account that they had vengeance on their side.
Yeah.
Like that they made it personal.
Yeah, I'm sure that silverback gorilla knew Harambe personally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, back to the safari
anyways,
animals.
what were we talking about?
Let's go smaller scale. Let's go
oh, I got one for you.
Giraffe versus elephant.
Wait, what? Did you say let's go smaller scale and say giraffe versus elephant?
I changed my mind. Giraffe versus elephant.
You're throwing me all around. A giraffe versus an elephant?
Mm-hmm. Rapid fire,
elephant,
come on.
I guess. An elephant?
I'm going elephant.
Okay.
Okay, elephant versus rhino.
Rhino.
Elephant.
I think it would.
They're huge.
Yeah.
They could just like stomp on a rhino and it'd be done.
Well, they're not that much bigger than a rhino.
Elephant.
Timon versus puma. I forget what they are.
That's a warthog and a I don't know what Pumbaa is or Timon is.
He's
like some sort of meerkat thing. Warthog. Pumbaa's the warthog. Pumbaa.
Did they fight in the movie?
No, they were best friends.
Oh. I've named some good safari ones. Let me think.
Yeah, you really were hitting all the safari animals.
What about wait, if you were an animal, what animal would you be?
I actually know this answer, and it's not because I'm tall, but I think I'd be a giraffe.
Because you're tall.
No, I have reasons. So giraffes, for the most part, travel with friends, like move in groups. Mm-hmm. But sometimes you'll see a giraffe like by itself, but not too far away is like its buddy. And I feel like that's me. Like sometimes I'm alone, but like not too far away is my support person or somebody close by.
Somebody else who's tall.
Somebody else who's tall. And also they're a little timid. Like they don't really love to be super close to people. Like lions will walk right by somebody and like whatever, they'll get nice up and close. Giraffes, like if you try to get close to them, they kind of run away. I relate to that.
You are the giraffe from Madagascar.
I don't know what that means.
You remember what was his name? Like Sheldon or Melvin?
That's rude. That's rude.
Is his name Melvin? I don't know.
I'm now picturing
you're
it.
Melvin.
Doesn't he like not know how to walk? He's all like...
He's like a hypochondriac. Like
that's not me at all.
Scared of everything.
That's not me at all.
And he is tall though. You're right about that.
No, the giraffes just are like, they don't want anybody in their business. What animal do you think you'd be? And don't say a lion. Every dude is like, I'm a lion. I'm the king of the jungle. Don't say lion.
Okay. I think I'm a lion.
Of course.
But
of course you do. Doesn't every muscular man think that they're a lion?
Listen, they sleep 18 hours a day.
Just like you.
Just
Wish
like
you
me.
could.
Yeah. They have a nice set of hair, which I'm working on.
Your beautiful mane.
My beautiful golden locks.
Okay.
They're lazy until it's time to not be lazy.
Like hunting?
Yeah, like hunting.
Okay, so you're kind of like that when you're on the hunt for crumble cookie and donuts.
Yes, exactly. So I'm a lion on the hunt for crumble
sweets.
Cookie and donuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just a particular lion.
Well, actually, when we were in Africa, we were asking our tour guides about this particular tribe that's in the area. And we just wanted some of like the background and history on them. And I had asked them, I was like, why do none of the women have hair? Like they're all bald. And they were telling us that this tribe, like their motto and their traditions are all based around living like a lion. So the women aren't allowed to have hair because female lions don't have a mane. Only the men do.
Yeah. So another thing in those villages is they have many wives. So I live like the lion in that way as well.
Yeah.
And
do you?
All right. And now it's the time, the very time, the time you've all been waiting for, the time that everyone wants, but Tori can't pronounce correctly.
No, go ahead. I was waiting for you to start it.
The 911. What in God's name was that?
I didn't mean to squawk like that.
What?
Try again.
Was that?
I was trying to do the thing.
Out of all my years of podcasting, I have never heard a 911 introduced like that my entire life.
I was trying to do the thing that you do where you interrupt me on the what, but then my voice just went, ah.
Then you want to try again?
Yeah, I do. Okay, guys, it's time for 911 what? How is that?
Just roll the music.
911 what?
Just start it. Here we go. How did an otherwise healthy man with a broken leg end up dead in a hospital ceiling?
Hospital ceiling?
In the end, it was the smell that gave it away. Sandil Sibia had come to Durban's Manhattan Gandhi Memorial Hospital with a broken femur on the 10th of May. I think this is a hospital in South Africa. But days later, and as he was set to be transferred to the nearby hospital to see an orthopedic doctor, the man was nowhere to be found. Security staff scoured the hospital grounds. With nowhere else to look, it seemed, staff opened a missing persons case to the South African Police Department. An unbearable stench intensified at the hospital. Eventually, it led to the storeroom, where fluid dripping from the ceiling provided the telltale signs that something was amiss.
Really gross.
Ooh. The search eventually led to the decomposed body.
In the ceiling?
In the ceiling.
Ew.
The race is on to find out why an otherwise healthy man with a broken leg would end up dead among the ceiling panels of the Seaside Hospital.
So many questions.
Isn't it Nurse John who talks about the patient who's always in the
Smith.
Mr.
Smith is always like
he's
in
like
the
always
ceiling.
in the like ceiling and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, this is like wild. So
he needs to see this article.
Yeah, tag him in this. So they began investigating the hospital, and they found that this and a number of hospitals and clinics did not have a security policy in place, and that often there was no record of how security incidents were resolved. So strangely enough, Sibia is at least the second patient to be found dead among the rafters in a South African public hospital in the last 2 years.
So they have a ceiling murderer.
Yeah, sounds like it. Sounds like a lot of work to kill someone and then put them up in the ceiling. Also, why?
So is that what happened?
So,
or it's still we don't know.
It says he disappeared under their own guard and was subsequently found in their facility in an area he couldn't have accessed by himself, his family told. All we wanted was for him to get help. So he was on his way out of there.
So I wonder what his cause of death was, like if in the autopsy.
So I think what I was reading is that they couldn't really determine it because of like
too decomposed.
Yeah.
So he was missing for that long.
Yeah, I think so. But basically,
I feel like they've still been able to tell cause of death, like, and all the crime junkies I listen to, if they find bodies years later, like they'll see the skull had an indentation or like something like that. I guess I don't really know. I don't do autopsies, and I wonder how he got there, and I wonder who put him there.
I know. And
then how he died.
You think you go to the
hospital.
hospital.
He had a broken leg, so he's definitely not climbing up in the rafters himself.
No, he's definitely not getting up there. He was set to be transferred, missing, then dead.
Do you want to hear something gross that this made me think of?
Sure.
Okay, so you know how it said that there was like fluid leaking down from the ceiling?
Yeah.
At a hospital I worked at one time, there was a situation where the plumbing above our department, I don't know if it burst, I don't know if it got backed up. I'm not sure what exactly happened. All I know is that a suspicious, smelly, brown fluid was leaking through the ceiling all across like the main area in our department, and even ended up busting down one of the ceiling panels when a lot of it accumulated, and it rained in our department. That was really fun.
If I'm a janitor, I quit.
Well, this was night shift, and I think we did end up calling a janitor, but in the meantime, we were grabbing every towel, every sheet we could. We all had like PPE on, like gowns,
That's a
the
hazmat
booties.
incident.
It was like hazmat, and we were like throwing towels everywhere. Oh, it was so gross. But I still think I'd take that over like the seeping, seeping body
person.
fluids of somebody who's deceased.
Of Mr. Smith.
Ugh. Well, rest in peace. That's sad.
Yeah. Be careful which South African hospital you go in.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. Mine is also an African themed 911. What? That's pretty good, right? Getting better. Okay. In 2018, a 22-year-old woman was mauled to death by a lion while on vacation in a game reserve outside of Pretoria in South Africa. Another South African story. A 22-year-old woman was attacked and killed by a lion as she took photos outside the fenced area of the camp. A lioness was charging after an impala, the antelope, remember? We saw a bunch of impalas, but encountered the young woman instead. The victim was not staying at the camp, but was instead a guest of a friend and was intending to interview the camp's manager before the tragedy struck. I have more, though. This is a whole article about different safari animal injuries. A gorilla pushed a woman to the ground as it charged past in Rwanda. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Video footage captured in March 2016 as a new husband appeared to film his wife as a gorilla ran past her, pushing her to the ground on their honeymoon.
Oh my God. So he started filming after it happened?
No, during.
Oh, like,
it's caught on footage.
No, I mean like the gorilla charged her and then instead of helping, he was like, oh my God,
Let me
what a
film
perfect
this.
photo op.
Yeah, it
like,
doesn't seem like she
viral.
was injured. He
That
just
would
pushed her to the ground.
That
Like,
would probably
move.
be me like, you know, I would help you, but if you could take a few hits, you know, nothing serious. Do you imagine like, you know, how much views that would get? And you know what I mean?
You
and,
better
like, the
tell them
story.
that you're kidding.
Well, you know, not like seriously injured, but if
like
you,
pushed to the ground by a gorilla.
yeah, like
I wouldn't
pushed
mind
and
being pushed
smacked
to the
around a
ground
little bit. I mean, lightly. Like
I was
love
gonna say, I
taps.
wouldn't mind being pushed by a gorilla because like that's a pretty good story. Like a gorilla pushed past me, but I was fine.
The
but I don't wanna
thumbnail
get
would
slapped
be
around a little.
great. It
Oh
would be
my
like
You're like those moms, the family vloggers who are like forcing their kids to cry for a thumbnail. Like you just want to offer me up to the
It
gorillas.
would be like giraffe woman beats up full-grown gorilla or something like that.
Giraffe
to that
woman?
nature. Yeah.
Oh my God. This one's sad. A former Game of Thrones editor, one of my favorite shows, was mauled to death by a lion in South Africa.
Oh my gosh.
I know. In 2015, 29-year-old Catherine Chappell was being driven through a lion park in South Africa when a lioness took a hold of the graphic effects editor. Witness noticed that she had her windows down and was taking photographs of her surroundings just moments before the lioness attacked.
Well, I mean, we were doing that plenty.
Yeah, that's
we
what
had our windows down. I was filming nonstop.
That's what I thought was interesting, that two of these were from a lion. The lions could have cared less about us, but also we weren't seeing any lions that were like on the prowl. Like one time we saw a lion walk by that maybe looked like they were hunting, but the most part the lions were just sleeping. And even when they walked past us, I'm talking we're like this close to them, like window lion, like right. I could touch them if I was stupid enough to put my hand down.
I tried.
So it's pretty crazy that like she was taking photos just like we did and it attacked. I'm glad I didn't read this article before we went. I would have been a little more hesitant. This one says an elephant charged at a billionaire tourist and his guide in Tanzania. So that's where we were.
Oh, wait, where? An
elephant.
An elephant.
An elephant.
Oh, yeah.
Which there's actually a part of our trip the very last day where we were driving and there was like a herd of elephants. I think that's what they're called, a herd. And with a baby, and then maybe the mom or dad was like farther away. And as we were driving by, I don't know if it was because they weren't near their baby, they did like a fake.
Yeah, they like kind of like did a little charge at us.
So we like trumpeted at us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, the first time we heard an elephant trumpet and did like a little charge. And our tour guide was like, it's no big deal. They do that sometimes.
It was like, bah, 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 and like ran at us.
Exactly. That's what happened. This one says he was on a walking tour in Tanzania, which I would love to do.
Where in Tanzania can you get a walking tour?
I don't know.
Without getting stuck in the mud like
this
what we
was
did?
also back in 2009. So maybe it's changed since then. But we aren't allowed to, like in the Serengeti, you can't do a walking tour. Like you're not allowed to get out of your car. So I'd be curious to see where they did this. But it says this billionaire was on a walking tour in Tanzania, and was near a watering hole when they spotted a 6-ton elephant, which proceeded to charge the group. The animal attacked this guy, shattering his leg. And why would you put this in the article? It says the animal attacked the guy, shattering his leg and causing the iPhone in his pocket to explode into 200 pieces.
No.
What an important aspect to include.
Not the iPhone.
Not the iPhone.
Well, this
just
was
like
in
a
2009. What was this, like an iPod Touch?
I think it said 2009 in the beginning of the article.
What was this guy had his
Maybe I'm
iPod
wrong.
Shuffle destroyed?
It says he's since undergone 16 surgeries to save his leg, but he's been one of the lucky few who have survived such a massive attack.
What about the phone?
Definitely didn't make it. 16 repairs on his leg from an here's my thing though. You could get just as easily injured like driving a car, especially if you're driving with me. So anywhere that if I'm going to get injured or have to get surgeries, like I want it to be from an elephant attack.
Great story.
You know what I mean? I don't want to be like, oh, I have this cast on my leg because I was in a car accident. Like an elephant stampeded on me. Like
Giraffe woman attacked
Why
by
do you-
elephant.
why do you keep calling me giraffe woman?
That's you.
So I don't know. If you live and you're okay, maybe that sounds bad.
But did you die?
But did you die? This one says a leopard attacked a safari jeep by jumping into the open top jeep in South Africa.
I think I've seen this. There's a video of this.
I've seen a few videos of this.
Yeah.
The driver stopped the car so the tourists could get a closer look, and at this point, the big cat suddenly attacked. Tourists in this jeep attempted to help the guide fight off the predator, but were unsuccessful in their efforts. Ultimately, it was the driver himself who managed to pry himself loose. Luckily, he lived to tell the tale despite serious injuries. The animal, oh no.
They kill it?
Yeah, the animal was put down following the incident.
Mm.
That's not right. We're in their area.
If you're going into their territory, play stupid
and
games,
this
win
is a
stupid
national
prizes.
park. I don't understand how they could put the animal down.
I mean, I think if you're getting attacked, you can probably be like,
Said
hey, listen.
Maybe like when they pushed it off, then they had to kill it like immediately. I thought you meant like they went back and killed the animal.
Oh, no.
Like it's a national park, so I don't know how you could do that.
Yeah.
And then this one says 2 tourists were trampled to death by elephants after getting too close in Zambia.
I definitely wouldn't want to be walking near elephants.
That would be scary.
Like in Africa.
Yeah.
In Thailand, we were.
They were smaller though.
chilling.
African elephants are a lot bigger. So
And-
this one
yeah.
says the 57-year-old woman and 64-year-old man were trampled to death by elephants at the Maramba River Lodge in Livingstone, Zambia. So they were staying at like their camping lodge when they were trampled.
Wow.
They were killed after coming too close to the wildlife in an attempt to take photos, per usual. Oh, here we go. We got the hippo now, baby. King of the
There's
jungle.
got to be a million of those stories.
I'm sure. This one says a 75-year-old businesswoman was unalived by a hippopotamus while on family vacation in Tanzania, according to the Daily Mail. She was an avid world traveler and local
What's harder to spell, hippopotamus or philanthropist? What?
I can't say it.
It's a hippopotamus philanthropist.
Though the woman was a philanthropist. I can't say it. She
Wait.
was that.
The hippopotamus was the philanthropist.
No, you know that's not what it is.
Okay, what was
The
the
woman was the.
hippopotamus?
Stop it.
Say what the woman was.
A philanthropist.
Okay.
Is that right? Okay. Anyways, she was on safari with her son, and the duo were observing the hippo.
This is the part of the episode where Tori has her stroke, and we have to do the routine stroke assessment. Okay, here we go. Put your arms
You can't
up.
teach an old dog new
Big
trick.
smile. Big smile.
Okay, let me try again. Oh man, the duo were observing the hippos when the attack took place. Details around the death were unclear, but the hippos are largely considered some of the most dangerous animals in the world, responsible for around 500 human deaths every year. They're capable of outrunning humans and have extremely sharp teeth. And this just goes on and on. Here's another lion attack. Here is a tiger attack, but that's in Beijing. Anyways, so those are mine. Couple attacks on safari.
Well, I think we came out pretty good.
That's going to be it for today's episode, guys. Next episode might be our first non-travel related episode.
Oh my God, what will we talk about?
What are we gonna talk
I guess I'll
about?
have to tell stories about people at work.
With details and birthdays and account
with
numbers.
socials and explicitly specific details.
Of course.
Well, you'll have to stay tuned to find out. This has been another episode of After the Encode.
Bye, guys.
Bye.